Network.
Welcome, everybody. It's your boy Darrell, Owens, and Jeremiah Quimby here from sunny Midlothian. Jay, what is up, sir?
It's hot.
It's a little bit hot out here, y'all.
I didn't get a heads up that we were going to be sunbathing.
I thought I said, well, how can I give Jay just a little more? Thought, but it's gonna be 64 today here.
Dude, I'm already tanning off. You don't see how, you see how dark I get?
Yeah, I mean, look, man.
I don't need a jump start, bro.
Oh, look, I'm not even gonna start with how dark I already am.
No, you're milk chocolate.
I'll take milk chocolate. Milk chocolate's pretty solid.
Doesn't melt in your hand, but never mind. Hi now.
That's absolutely funny to me. But anyway, it's so good to have everybody here with us and being a part of us here on this Legacy Maker Sports Network as we break down our 2020 NFL draft. And, we decided to do this one outside.
What's this we? Okay, first of all, let's get this we stuff out the way.
I decided to do outside. I'm honest with you. We were trying to work out the video and all that stuff, and it just didn't work out. We were struggling, man, and I said no.
And his wife wanted us, the 6 feet rule, which I respect.
We're about 4.5 feet right now, but just remember, we got the Germex. We're here.
Okay, if we make it to pick 15 and you're drinking that shit, I know it's not Germex.
Well, I hope that we're not drinking it by that time. We need to be definitely on top of on point by that time. Now, y'all, the way we did this draft, me and Jay sat down collectively and put this one together. Usually we have our panel of guys with us, and unfortunately, because of everything going on, we just decided to do it this way. But next year we'll be back fully strong. As long as COVID takes his butt and stays elsewhere, we'll work out some arrangements to do our 4th annual draft, hopefully bigger and better than ever. But me and Jay, we got an onslaught of different picks we're going to go through and go over, plus we'll give the sleepers for ourselves, plus our guys on the network that were able to give us sleepers for the broadcast. So once again, truly appreciate having you all here with us as we get ready to break this bad boy down. Now, Jay, let me ask you this.
You better not do it.
No. I was about to say, how excited are you for the draft?
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm ready for some football, and I'm so tired of hearing all this Gronkowski shit.
Well, before we get going into the draft, how do you feel about that? Now, people are probably looking and say, "Oh, look, there's a new Buccaneers fan." But let me tell you about this guy who, since I know him since 2011, has been a Buccaneers fan through all the tough times.
Where'd I get this hat?
I brought this man this hat back in 2012. That's right. It's been a while. So don't you dare get this man trash for being a Buccaneers fan. I will kick you in your knee.
I'll take it.
All right.
That's all right.
So let's go ahead and get the draft started. Jay, I'm excited. We kind of alternated picks, but we're still going to discuss everything as we go along here. So with the first pick in this NFL draft, where are the Cincinnati Bengals going with this pick, Jay?
No, they're going to stay in Ohio at Cincinnati.
What?
You said where are they going? No, they're going to pick Joe Burrow. I mean, as soon as they've tagged A.J. Green, because that was the one thing Burrow asked was keep A.J. Green there. As soon as they tagged him, you knew Burrow was the pick.
Yeah, I will be honest with you. I can't see this going any other way. In my opinion, there's no way that they don't go with Barrow here. Barrow is, if the guy was able to, like you said, bring AJ Green in and make him the guy, I can't see where they would make the decision and say that,
I keep seeing this flying devil around here, and if y'all see me take off, it's because I'm allergic to bees and wasps.
Right. Do you have the EpiPen?
No.
Oh, okay.
I ain't, even with my insurance, it's like $600.
No, we ain't got time for those
But
games.
never mind. I'm not gonna get started on that. But yeah, I mean, Burrow is I guess the smart pick. But I did read something. Carson Palmer came out yesterday and publicly said you got to take Chase Young with the number 1 pick. He is the best player, hands down.
You know what? It's true. Everybody has him number 1 on the draft boards, not the draft itself, but he's definitely number 1 on those draft boards. And what he has brought to what he brought to LSU. He sat 3 years at Ohio State before moving to LSU, and then he just went off. Undefeated season, wins the Heisman. But there was a gentleman I know named Jeremiah Quimby that said at the beginning of the season, who would be his dark horse Heisman? And then you said
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. So the guy kind of knows his stuff.
Well, I know. I'm hearing feedback from somewhere. Do you hear it?
Oh, that's here. That's just me. No, you're good, bro.
Turn it down. No, for me, I guess, knowing that him and Haskins went back and forth, and Burrow was actually, not highly recruited, but, he come to Ohio State, entered the transfer portal that first year, and you move the stuff in the thing.
No, not the grease. Hold on. Told you, we on the fly here. We are live, so no need to hide.
When he went to LSU, and I told you this, he was the first legitimate quarterback LSU's had since Jamarcus Russell. And I know that's not a great comparison NFL-wise.
Definitely not the greatest.
But what he did in college, I mean, Burrow got it done.
Yeah, I mean, and it was an amazing run. Definitely deserved the Heisman. Won't take anything away from it, but I agree with the pick 6 trillion%.
6 trillion.
6 trillion%.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So we go to number 2 in our mock draft, and the Washington Redskins have that number 2 pick. And this one, I think, is a home run hitter, as long as they don't trade the pick, because we know that these first 4 or 5 picks, let's put it this way, from 6 to 7, we've heard, 6 to 9.
6 to 9,
6 to 9, we've heard draft trades, anything like that. But if the draft stays the same, I got the Washington Redskins taking Chase Young for the University of Ohio. I mean, Chase Young has been dominant. And the one performance that always blows my mind, and we talked about this a little bit before when it comes to Chase Young, was that time when they suspended my man and said, you know what, bro, you don't get to play. Sorry, and it's just not going to happen. You don't get to play. They were trying to question his eligibility, and then he goes out the next game and said, well, funk y'all, I'm going to go and get 4 sacks. And that's why I think that he could bring such a dynamic to this team, especially with that front 4. It could be, just imagine as a Redskins fan.
Now that they switched to a 4-3 instead of a 3-4, I mean, he gets to put his hand in the dirt, and he can play any position on that line. But go ahead with those 4.
Right, and so you get Allen. You're going to have Jonathan Allen. You're going to have Daron Payne. You'll have Sweat that you just drafted last year, and then you can have this young stud and Chase Young. The Redskins fans, I know it's been a tough ride for you guys. We've been there. We've seen the games.
Oh, yes.
We've seen how rough it has been at times.
The $5 seats.
The $5 seats. We've seen it all. But just remember, I think this change with Coach Rivera is for the good. There's a lot of good things that are going to come that way because of Coach Rivera, I think. Even if it doesn't get you to a Super Bowl, I think it will make you a legitimate team over the next couple of years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're definitely going to see change. There's a lot of what-ifs with every team in that division. So it definitely is. It's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes down there for the Washington Redskins. But unless they trade the pick, Chase Young's got to be the guy here. All right, the Lions have the number 3 pick. Jay, where are the Lions going with this pick if they keep it?
You know, there. I've heard. This is the other thing. I've heard a lot of different rumors about the way they could go with this. Oh, look, my pictures didn't save. That's great.
That's okay, Jay. I got you. With the third pick, the
Jeff
Lions select
Okuda.
Jeff Okuda,
Now,
the backup plan.
well, I got it pretty well memorized, but I mean, it is.
I'm pretty sure you studied it strategically.
But Jeff Okuda right now, you know, the number one corner. Now, a lot of people's got C.J. Henderson sneaking up, but if you take, you know, and look at what the production has been for Ohio State corners coming out, Eli Apple, the exception. I think he just needs a good conk in the head to get him back in line.
Right.
But the last highly touted Gator product was
your boy,
Vernon Hargreaves.
Yeah.
And look, we were like, bye, Felicia.
And Hargreaves has had a little bit of a rough bounce around these last guys. He's actually he's a free agent right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he is a free agent.
He's a free agent right now.
He's
so
gone.
I think eventually he'll sign with somebody, but we'll see how that goes when that time comes. So the Lions, unless they trade this pick, because there's a potential in some people's eyes that the Dolphins or the Chargers could move up to try to get Herbert or Tua.
And 3 is going to be the key to the draft when possibly we could see all the trades and all the moves. It just depends. I mean, we've heard rumors that the Bengals have been offered 3 first-round picks by the Dolphins, and they said no. I am sorry. Joe Burrow is a good quarterback.
Right.
But you have a chance to take a franchise that is utter crap and build exponentially upon that.
Well,
why would you not?
I'll give you an example with that. As you look at the Raiders, Raiders had 3 picks last year. You pick up Jacobs, you get Farrell, and maybe a little too high, but you got him. And then you who else did they get in that in the first round? Whole mind went blank. Jacobs, Farrell, and they got another guy in the first round.
Didn't they get a safety?
They did. Why am I having Jonathan? Abrams. There you go, Jonathan Abrams. I knew we was getting there.
I was just trying to give you the chance to get to it, bro.
I was trying to get it out, but they had him, and good things came from that team. And I think before Abrams got hurt, so I think that just imagine what the Raiders did this year. They were a little bit better. They weren't great, but they were a little bit better. And if you're the Bengals, you got to think about something like that. But anywho, let's go to our number 4 selection. I had the Giants, and I selected Tristan Wirfs from Iowa, the offensive tackle here. This could go, in my opinion, either way. I think if the Giants stick in this spot, Isaiah Simmons could be a person of interest if you look at it at that spot, or you could see or you're going to see Wirfs here if they don't trade.
Gettleman has talked about wanting to trade out of this spot also, but the reason I like Wirfs here, there's only – I would love to get him in Tampa. I won't lie. But Wirfs is the most athletic tackle. His ability to pull and, run block is amazing. And there's 2 quarterbacks in the top 10 that have the ability to make, running plays with their legs that are established right now, and that's Daniel Jones with the Giants and Kyler Murray.
I mean, we've seen the ability that these 2 young men have. So, I mean, if – with the Giants, there's so many pieces that they need. They could even use a receiver. I saw James Jones on NFL Network say yesterday that CeeDee Lamb would be a good person at this spot. They need help, but they do have Tate and they do have Shepard.
But there's no Calvin Johnson. Okay, let me take this back. There might be, but this wide receiver class is so deep that there's not a talent that has separated themselves from everybody else to warrant that high of a pick.
I can agree with you 100%. I mean, there's nobody that's like, oh my God, talented.
Well,
they're good. They're good, but they're not, oh my God, talented.
They got a couple people. CeeDee Lamb, yeah, he's good. Jerry Jeudy's good, but T. Higgins is falling out of the first round talk, and we've personally seen him play.
Right.
And T. Higgins has amazing body control and great hands.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen for T. Higgins. I'm hoping that if Green Bay has an opportunity to get him and it's worth it, I say grab him. But that's
Oh
just
yeah, you got to take. I mean, that would be if I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, take Higgins, 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 Higgins.
give me what I want. Give me what I want. All right, let's head to our fifth pick. Jay, where did the Dolphins go with this fifth pick?
Well, everybody was like, tank for two, tank for two. I actually got them going with Herbert.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of reports lately saying that Herbert is actually more of the choice here than Tua. That they're leaning more towards
And
Herbert here and not Tua.
well, because he's got the prototypical, size, delivery. He's the pocket presence that everybody wants to dream and build around. But two problems with Tua have come out. He has failed his physicals with a couple teams.
Right.
Um, they don't think that his hip injury will bother him at 25, but at 35, it's going to become
An issue.
an issue. And then he scored 10 on a Wonderlic. The last quarterback that we know of that scored that low was Vince Young, and he scored a 10.
Yeah, you can't have that.
Wouldn't it be irony if Tua went to the Dolphins scoring 13, which is the second lowest a quarterback has ever scored, backing up his rookie year the guy that scored the highest ever on the Wonderlic?
Well, guess what? You can learn from the highest guy that's ever scored on
Well,
the higher lick. You can't go wrong there, right? I mean, you just can't.
You can't, but sometimes certain things can't be taught. I was going through the Wonderlic questions the other day, and just they're so simple.
Right.
So it just makes you if the simcality, this is probably making up words of those. Can they digest a playbook? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to be a big part for him, is digesting that playbook.
Yes, LA. I love my Code Red.
Hey, we're not sponsored by it, but it's close to it. Gotta love Code
Hey,
Red.
you know what? I might as well buy a stock in it as much as I drink it.
Facts. They love you. They have to love Jeremiah Quimby. All right, with the sixth pick here, I was choosing for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, he got it.
And so, I was almost saying San Diego. Not gonna lie to you, I had to catch myself. But what I went with this one, I had to do I told Jay.
How's this look?
It looks phenomenal. the thing I told Jay is that I was looking at two things. One, they need a quarterback, but two, they need somebody who. We got our neighbor cutting grass here. The other thing that we needed, that the Chargers needed,
Mr. Wu, please turn it off.
Was a quarterback that could also help bring along this team that's coming into a brand new stadium in LA, where there's a huge Samoan population. Why not bring in Tua there at number 6?
Exactly, because the last guy they had that really represented that culture, I'm pretty sure, didn't they draft Manti Te'o and it didn't really go well?
They did. They did draft Te'o.
It was Junior Seau before that, and I mean, rest in peace. I loved him as a linebacker and representative of that community. So, I mean, for it would be, I like the fit, but I've seen reaches where people say that they've done a lot of research on Jordan Love, too.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. We have heard the Jordan Love thing, and you told me the other day, like, sitting on the West Coast, they get a chance to see him a little bit more.
Yep.
So it's a strong possibility that Jordan Love sneaks up in there.
And they said this year is Tyrod's year, so they got their, if they get a quarterback here, why not?
All right, now number 7, the Carolina Panthers are selecting 7. Jay,
Oh,
where'd you
they're
go with
taking
this one?
Isaiah Simmons, hands down. It fits perfectly with the retirement of Luke Kuechly. It gives them a defensive stud to build around. Rivera's out, Cam's gone, Olsen's gone, Kuechly's gone. Thomas Davis is now with the Washington Redskins.
Right.
They don't really have an identity except Christian McCaffrey.
Exactly, and they're pretty much rebuilding. They did sign Robbie Anderson.
Yep.
So they brought Robbie Anderson along into everything. So, I mean, I look at that and say to myself, like, okay, well, they're rebuilding with Teddy. It's just a rebuilding process. They're re-identifying who they are as
and it's not
a franchise.
bad. I won't lie. We got Tom Brady. I would love to have Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
Just because he didn't get his fair shake. He backed up one of the greatest quarterbacks ever down in New Orleans. That hurts a lot for me to say. So I mean, he learned things. He could only go up from what he did when he was at the Vikings.
Exactly, and I've really loved to see how his game has grown. And even though he got drafted by the Vikings, I've always was a fan of what Teddy Bridgewater has done. In his career, the things he did for his mom when his mom was sick. It's just you can tell somebody's character.
You root for him as a player, but you also root for him more as a human being.
Exactly, and his character is just beyond belief. Now we head to number 8 here, the Arizona Cardinals. Me and Jay, sat down and really dibble-dabbled in this one, and I went with, I could be saying it wrong, Jarek Wills, the offensive tackle from Alabama. The kid's a stud. I mean, when it comes down to it, I feel like there's 3 guys at the top here, offensive line-wise, that you could probably pick them.
Right.
For those guys who have needs, and he's one of them.
I love him. He started right tackle, and that's what they need there in Arizona. I mean, damn, keep him upright. I could throw the ball to the 2 wide receivers they got on the outside, and even 2 of the young guys in the center now from last year's draft. I mean, somebody's catching it.
Yeah. I see this. The only other thing I've been hearing, I heard that Kyler Murray has been pushing hard to get CD Lamb to be a part of this team. Now, that would be an interesting move there.
It would be, but where does he fit? Because if I let me pull up my thing here, because I'm pretty sure last year they drafted 2.
Yeah, they drafted
Christian Kirk.
What's my man name from UMass? Was the big?
The big.
Goodness, the receiver from UMass. I'm having a whole moment. Oh goodness, I can't think of his name. As Isabel.
Oh yeah.
So they drafted Isabel last year. I think he's a kid that could be, really good for this Arizona team.
He could be, a lot of people compared him to that Wes Welker type of player.
Right.
And, the Isabella, they even got Hakeem Butler from Iowa State last year.
Oh, yeah.
Keyshawn Johnson, the other one from Fresno State. So the wide receiver really is not a need here.
No, they're not in a bad spot when it comes to wide receiver.
You got DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of Skittles, bro.
And some ice cream sandwiches. I mean, they really got away with it.
They were half-eaten ice cream sandwiches at that.
Facts. All right, now we go to number 9 here. The Jaguars are on the board. Jay, where did the Jaguars go?
I got the Jaguars going with Derek Brown, defensive tackle from Auburn.
Now, here's the crazy thing about Derek Brown. I saw something the other day that on Walmart's, Instagram page. His mom works for Walmart as a 15-year associate, and Walmart's actually bringing out a couple-of-day documentary on, all the struggles that he's been through in his career and with his, mom and everything they've been through.
Really?
And I thought that would be something. I think that's actually, if it hasn't already been posted, it's coming soon.
So you saying that, it would be interesting to see the Rams trade up and try to get him. Because the Rams is, their entire corporation for the Rams is secretly funded
by the old Wally world. That's right. And you probably say, Darrell, what you mean? Well, Kroenke is actually married into the Walton family.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah. So, I mean, it would be a pretty interesting move where we saw the Rams move up on that one. But, Jacksonville needs a lot of pieces. And Brown would be a nice piece, especially with the trade talks. And I'm not even going to try to destroy his name. I think it's Yannick. And if I'm saying it wrong, I'm not even going to destroy my man's name. But he's one of the best defensive players in the league. And that's what I said. There's trade talks here.
But from what I've heard, they want like a damn king's ransom. And because, what they got for Ramsey, but the thing is Jalen Ramsey is the elite of that position.
Right.
where right now you got a couple of free agents that produce the same way that this guy that they're wanting 2 first-round picks for.
Right.
So right now, if somebody throws you a second or a third for this guy, you got it. I mean, you traded A.J. Aboye for a 4th-round pick. You basically sold the farm to clear everything up, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to do what you got to do here, and it just makes me wonder where Jacksonville starting to remind me of the Marlins. Every time they start to get a little good, they just disperse. So that happens a lot in my opinion.
So Derek Jeter's running it?
Now, that's now though. But before then, you know how the Marlins were. Win a championship, everybody got to go. But I mean, obviously the Jaguars
except
never won a
Craig Counsell.
Yeah, Craig.
They're gonna keep his
ass.
ass.
Got to keep Craig Counsell
so he can hit that single and beat the Indians.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Jay. Let's head to number 10 in our mock draft. We've got the Browns on the board, and I got Mekhi Becton, the offensive tackle from Louisville, going here to Cleveland,
and there's been speculation that he's going to plummet in this draft because of his failed drug test.
Yeah, and but there was a couple of his teachers that came out and said they don't think this is his personality as a person. They've never seen. So he's had people going to bat for him. But like I told you, Jay, I think one of the biggest things about this situation is that it happened last week and not tomorrow or today.
Right. And Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, and Laramie Tunsil, we can all remember Laramie Tunsil at one point was potentially the number 1 pick. They were debating. He was a top 5 pick, and he dropped all the way down to 13, 14. Mm-hmm. So you know that's why I say.
And isn't he the highest paid tackle now in the league?
Yes, I think he is. I think he's definitely in the top 5 after getting that. I believe that extension from the Texans. So I mean that alone just shows you what these small things can do to a player. Getting this close to things. So thank goodness, for him that he's able to get it. But the kid is just special. He's talented. He played here in the Richmond area, played at Highland Springs, played football and basketball.
LA says Yannick isn't top 10 stats-wise at his position. Not last year, but if you go the year before when him and Campbell were on top of it, they were just knocking it out the park.
Yeah, so I like Becton here. I think he can be a nice piece of that offensive line in Cleveland, and they're going back to the old school jerseys. I think that's probably the best move.
Well,
I've always been a fan of the chocolate ones with the orange letter.
I'm not against that, but I like our new jerseys. The gray.
Well, they went back to what they went to. They should have stayed there in the first place.
The pewter, baby.
That pewter. I didn't. It's funny. I didn't truly know what pewter was until the last couple of days. The last week, I'm like, pewter. I have to go investigate this.
Oh my God.
All right.
I love you, but damn, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. I heard it before, but I was like, oh, what's that? Whatever.
Pewter,
all right.
That's a pretty what?
It's a pretty color. All right. Well, let's go to number 11. And who and where do the Jets grab from on this situation?
Oh no, I didn't do it, did I? Yeah, the Jets go CD Lamb.
He said I didn't do it, did I?
No, they need weapons.
Right.
They got Sam Darnold now. I've heard a lot of once again back and forth talk. Thomas might be the pick here, the tackle from Georgia, because they got to keep Darnold upright.
Yeah,
I ain't got no faith in any quarterback from USC unless his name's Carson Palmer.
Fact City.
So I mean, they're gonna they let Anderson go, they bring in Breland. I think they got Josh Dotson, a whole bunch of like could have beens, should have beens, never was, and I think they go for the stud number 1 right now. Everybody's saying, and they go CD Lamb.
I think they almost have to. You need that person at offensive line, but this draft is loaded with offensive line talent.
Wouldn't it be fun if the Cardinals somehow figured out a way to pull off a trade with the Jets to get Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah, I mean, see, that would be phenomenal. I mean, could you imagine?
Because he's not happy there anymore.
Yeah. And let's just be honest. I might get in trouble for this, but I mean, our man's a little bit suspect up there. The head coach, Adam Gase, man.
He got something definitely going down. He found a new dealer when he moved to New York, and it was just clean cut.
He must have gave him the good stuff. It had to be the good stuff.
Oh God.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's go to number 12. The Raiders selecting here at 12, and the Raiders have some needs, but I think the biggest need for the Raiders is a receiver, and I got them going with Henry Ruggs the third, the receiver from Alabama. Thank you.
You
Thank
finally got it right, bro.
I've been saying Riggs, bro.
You've been calling him Riggs for the last 2 weeks.
It's been lethal weapon, man. The whole time I've been treating my man Ruggs with so much utter disrespect. But I mean, if you're gonna get your name messed up, you might as well be Riggs. I mean, Riggs is the man.
I don't like this pick, not because I don't. Ruggs is straight line speed. He is more of a slot / number 2. Jerry Jeudy is the number 1 receiver. But, the Raiders.
You knew where I was going with this.
Yeah. So it's the Raiders, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders have always, when it comes to receivers, looked out for speed. I mean, we can always go to old Mr. Haywood Bay and pick an eighth when he was definitely a second rounder. I remember.
But didn't they that year second round take like DJ Moore too?
I think so. It was just like.
And he was like smaller than me with the get away from cop speed.
All right, let's go to number 13. And you just finished talking about this young man, but the 49ers have the 13th pick. Where did they go with this 13th pick?
Oh, Jerry Jeudy. Because they need somebody. The great thing about the 49ers, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but they know they've got a team that can compete. They didn't lose a lot of pieces. Last year, Deebo Samuel really stepped up and showed them that he was worth the pick that they took. And, they lost Emmanuel Sanders in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, at this point, it's more of a luxury pick. They were able to get another first-round pick earlier by, saying, okay, we don't want to pick up your contract, bro.
We're going to send you, and then we'll get 2 picks.
They sent, Buckner?
They sent Buckner to Indianapolis. So, I mean, Indianapolis gets some help on the defensive line, which they need, and then the 49ers get a solid spot in the
From what I read, they're trying to sell a couple of their players that they don't want anymore.
I don't know what the Indianapolis coach are doing. That's definitely a small not a small rebuild, but they're definitely trying to figure some things out there.
The one thing I've really noticed a lot, and I'm seeing it with my own team, is everything is win now.
Right.
What the hell was that?
Your hat slid off the table.
Oh, shit.
That was great.
That's what I get for talking shit about my team.
Jay's going to go get his hat. But, yeah, I like Drew to hear. I posted that video the other day of him doing this miraculous play, and it was pretty sweet. The stop jank was awesome. So I think the 49ers, you pick this young man here, and then you give yourself a true number 1. A future number 1, if you want to call it that, in San Francisco.
Now, if you go back and watch that play from a different angle, he could have beat him to the corner. He did that just to be an ass.
Yeah, he did. He worked him. He
did it just to be an ass.
Man, tango to my man. All right, Buccaneers are picking at 14. And the Buccaneers
pick a tight end.
Yeah, we're not doing that. The Buccaneers, obviously, Tom Brady now signed a 2-year, $50 million deal. And then, of course, yesterday they traded for Rob Gronkowski for a thing of
4th-round pick.
Yeah,
a compensatory pick, boot, which I was a little. I was pissed. And we got O.J. Howard, and we're shopping, can't get rid of. We got Cameron Brate. We have 2 legitimately good tight ends, and we go get Rob, who's been out of the league for a year.
Right.
And he's the 24/7
champion. He is the 24/7 champion
of the WWE.
He can defend his title at any time, which is very slick by the WWE.
For me, I've read so much BS, and it's really like I went back. It's win now.
Right.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
You have to, and it just makes you wonder where O.J. Howard will land in this situation. They've been talking about trading O.J. Howard since the middle of last year.
Green Bay Packers will give up a 2nd-round pick.
You.
Oh, D almost said a naughty word, boys and girls.
With the 14th pick, I got the Buccaneers taking Andrew Thomas, the offensive tackle from Georgia. If Wills is here, this will be a good spot.
Willis?
Willis. Is it Willis? It's,
I'm just like messing with you, bro.
anyway, the guy from Alabama. But in this situation, going with Andrew Thomas, and at one point they had him as high as 5, but he's dropped a smidgen.
Now, see, I see this play that possibly could play a different way because we signed Donovan Smith to a long contract to play left.
Right.
And then we brought Haig in off of somebody's practice squad. This is a luxury pick for the fact of keeping him upright. But if we take and look at Isaiah Wilson, did I get his name right?
Yes,
Isaiah. The actual right tackle from Georgia. He plays just as good as Thomas. And we need a right tackle. That's all we need.
Yeah, so, excuse me.
Do you need a drink of my happiness?
Pollen, man.
I don't know where your mouth's been. Never mind.
Facts. But I can
drink some of that
I am
amazing
not
juice.
drinking none of the sanitizer. But, I got the Bucks going with Thomas here. Really like the pick and all that good stuff.
Hey, it's fun. Guess what? I'm in the sun or in the shade.
Yes, you are in the shade. See, I told you just give it 30 minutes.
So nice.
I got another 10 before I'm in the shade.
Okay.
All right,
Anyways.
Broncos. We got the Broncos with the 15th pick. Where do the Broncos go?
I can't even see Denver Broncos wide receiver. So they're going Justin Jefferson, LSU.
Now
I can't see from the reflection, so I'm just rolling with what I remember, bro. So Justin Jefferson, and a lot of people say Jefferson was more of a victor of happenstance because of that wide open offense that they ran down there.
It happenstance.
You know what I mean?
That's great. I love that.
But because he didn't run a great 40, there is 3 wide receivers after Jefferson that I would take over him because I like Wims. Is that his name or Mims?
Mims.
I like Mims. Mims has got great size, 6'3", but it's John Elway. He don't think past the end of his nose.
But I also think I'm looking at it and I think they say that Jefferson's starting to move up on a couple of teams' boards, and so and then one of the LSU coaches said, and I don't know. And it could be just boosting him up. But then he said that he was the greatest receiver he's seen in his 40 years at LSU, and that's saying a lot.
No,
that's
bullshit.
That's what he said.
I'm sorry for our
that's what
younger
he
viewers,
said.
Just because you had Odell Beckham Jr. there.
That's true. And then you
and
had Landry.
Jarvis Landry.
That's true.
And you're gonna say tower shit.
Hey, Mom, that's what.
All right, show's over. We're done.
All right, so Denver gets Justin Jefferson at 15. Now we're going to head to the 16th pick and the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons need a couple things. They need a couple things.
Now, we went back and forth on this one. It was ultimately Darrell's pick, but I could definitely see them going Kinlaw here.
Yeah, I think Kinlaw could be a definite person here, but I decided to go with C.J. Henderson. Now, there's a strong chance that C.J. Henderson will not be here in this spot. Now, there's word that Atlanta could trade up to 9, potentially with Jacksonville to try to get him there. So I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but it could happen. It could be something that we see.
It definitely could. I mean, they basically let Marcus Trufant walk. They got Brian Poole still there. They've had a lot of injuries in the secondary. Remember, Kazee had this great rookie year, and then all of a sudden he got his own golden wheelchair, and he was done.
Golden wheelchair. Yeah, Atlanta, they, with their gorgeous FUBU jerseys. Those things are phenomenal.
So hideous, bro.
I want to like them, but I just can't. I want to like them, but I just can't.
Also, last year in the 3rd round, they got a guy that I was really high on until he hurt himself in the bench press, and that's Kendall Sheffield, who played opposite of Okuda last year, and Sheffield could potentially, work his way into being, I'm not going to say he's going to be a lockdown corner, but he will be a very serviceable corner.
Okay. Well, we'll see what he goes. Jay doesn't have a good taste in his mouth when it comes to Florida cornerbacks right now, so We'll see how that goes for Atlanta if that is the pick. All right, now we head to 17 here, and Jay was very adamant about this pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Jay, where did you go with this one?
Cowboys fan, sit down.
They may not like this, but Jay, where do you get the Dallas Cowboys going at 17?
Now, they recently put out a thing, both the Joneses did, saying that safety, wide receiver, and defensive line were their main concerns. Now, as far as interior linemen, there's not a lot to stick out to me, and this hurts because this is a Michigan product. But I really see it going at 17. The Dallas Cowboys select center Cesar Ruiz from Michigan.
Now, this is not the worst. Now, they have a solid center there now. But, eventually contracts are going to come up. But you look at a guy like Ruiz, especially losing Frederick. You need somebody who can come in and eventually take over the reins there on that offensive line.
You get 4 guaranteed, 5 if you option it on a center, where with Frederick's retiring, you get that money to put somewhere else.
Right.
And once again, this is a very deep draft, except interior lineman and at safety. Safety is kind of iffy.
I think probably one of the next interior linemen that you'll see come off the board will probably be, was it Crushenberry? Maybe in the second round. Was it Lloyd Crushenberry? That was a fella.
Oh, yeah.
I could be saying his name. I'm just short name.
You make him sound like he's already got a job, bro.
I feel like it's Crushenberry, but I'm like I said, you know how I am with names. Anyway, let's go to number 18. And the Miami Dolphins, this is their second of their 3 picks. I've got the Miami Dolphins selecting Josh Jones, the offensive tackle from Houston, here in this spot. And we know the Dolphins are another one of those teams that they have been trying to rebuild this thing and make it right.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Crushenberry was last year, bro.
This is Lloyd Crushenberry III.
I'm looking, and I'm not seeing him anywhere.
I think he went to USC, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Maybe he. Oh, there you go. Okay, he's a center.
He's a center,
and they got a 3rd round grade on him, bro.
Yeah, so that tells you how deep it is, because I don't think he's
actually, Ben Brenderson, he's a guard from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They got a 1st round grade on him.
I mean, that's the first time I heard his name.
And Robert Hunt.
That's the first time I heard his name.
Remember Robert Hunt? He's going to come up later.
Robert Hunt. Okay, Robert Hunt. But with Jones, what are your thoughts on Josh Jones? Now, and potentially helping that offensive line, because they need help. Obviously, they gave away Tunsil, so
right now Josh Jones is interesting because he had to hold his own for the first 2 years of his career because he was practicing every day against Ed Oliver.
Oh man, yeah. See, and having to deal with Ed Oliver is not easy.
No, it's not. And I mean, he's really raw. He's a guy that could do a lot of things, but once again, system-wise, it's got to be a system fit and time to develop. He's going to be a right tackle. The Dolphins have Billy Bob and his 6 cousins playing offensive line right now. Well, I mean, they traded away everything that was of asset.
And there they go.
Drinky drink?
The drink is gone.
Oh, son of a...
And the crazy thing about it is not even that windy.
Really? Because they just stole my drink!
It's not even crazy bad. It was just a light enough wind to steal the drink. We'll just keep rolling from there. All right, the Raiders had the 19th pick, and you talked about him potentially going to Atlanta, but you said you think he could be good here for the Raiders.
Kinlaw?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're shopping PJ Hill. He was a 2nd round pick 2 years ago. They're not happy with what he's done, and how out there with John Gruden, he has a 0, I'm waiting for anything, I want it now type of policy. Because 10 years, $100 million isn't enough time for him to develop players. So yeah, Kinlaw is his fall in this draft stops right here.
All right. Well, yeah, because Kinlaw could be a stud. I mean, I've heard the highest I've heard Kinlaw is 9 to Jacksonville. So that you got to be on the lookout for that because that's his range. At least that's what we're hearing his range is. Unless somehow the Raiders get in the top 5 and they decide to go up. Anyway, let's go to 20 and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars have the 20th pick, and I got them going with Christian Fulton from LSU. We talked about them losing AJ Aboy or trading him away, and they've got to start to fill these needs in.
Right. And they traded Jalen Ramsey too, so secondary is definitely a thing. But there's a couple people I put in front of Fulton just because Fulton and Delprit both have injury concerns.
Right.
And it's really difficult in these times with not being able to do a full physical without doing the Zoom calls and shit like that.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot you don't know. But if he turns out to be healthy, it's not a bad pick. But I really thought I saw him and Delprit having the same fall as Greedy Williams from last year.
See, that's tough because, you had so much hype. Usually when a team wins a national championship, there's a lot of hype that goes into the players coming off that national championship because obviously they've been playing great football all year.
But they're not Alabama.
But they're not Alabama. So then you start to wonder yourself, how would that truly go? But I mean, you got you got to take a chance because you need cornerback help. You definitely need cornerback help.
This is definitely, your second pick of the first round. You definitely go need. And there's a lot of needs there. So.
Well, it looks like we went back-to-back LSU players on this one because the Philadelphia Eagles have 21, and they've got linebacker needs.
Patrick Queen, yes. They let a couple key people go. Now, everybody from Eagles Nation will be like, oh, they need corner help. They need wide receiver. The guy that runs your defense is your middle linebacker. And Patrick Queen really set himself apart because he was the guy that made the calls on the field to win them that national championship.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say they don't like him on the run defensive front, but my thing is I love the intensity. And sometimes, the intensity and just his ability to chase someone down is it's like watching a lion chase down one of those gazelles, and it's just it's a piece of work.
It's funny you say that.
Yeah, it's a piece of work.
I just watched Zombieland.
Maybe I should say Tiger. Since he's LSU.
No, yeah, but he's limbering up, and Woody Harrelson. Do you ever see a lion stretch before he strikes his prey?
And that's the type of linebacker you'll be getting in Philadelphia and Patrick Queen. 22. We got the Vikings on the board here, and the Vikings have 2 picks in this range. They got 22 and they got 25. I think they're going to fill both needs with both of these picks, one receiver, one cornerback. But I went with the quarterback first and went with Jeff Gladney from TCU. And
really like his length. I really do. TCU's put out some suspect wide receivers.
Real suspect.
Yeah, but they've always been, the Toads have always been solid.
The Toads.
Putting out defensive products,
Yeah, I just, the Vikings, lost quite a bit of those cornerbacks.
They lost.
Xavier Rhodes is gone. Trey Waynes is in Cincinnati now.
And Mackenzie Alexander.
Yeah. And so they
is in Cincinnati.
So they lost.
All they got is Mike Hughes.
Yeah, and they just drafted him last year, so they need more depth there. And I don't be surprised if they draft a couple cornerbacks in this draft.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
But I went with him here.
Wouldn't it be funny if they took 2 corners in the first round?
It would be, but it wouldn't surprise me.
It would be like back-to-back Cincinnati Bengals. Oh wait, who was the defensive coordinator the 2 years they did that? Mike Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer, yeah. So
the head coach of
the Minnesota Vikings. It would not surprise me whatsoever. All right, so we head to 23. We're getting closer here in this draft. And at 23, the New England Patriots, free of Gronkowski, free of Brady.
Take Jordan Love. I know this one because that's who they should take. If he's sitting there, why not?
They have Stenham there, and they have Brian Hoyer, but you need a little bit more than that, in my opinion. It's just not gonna flow there.
That would be like you telling me that we got 3 outs in softball, and you're gonna put my broke ass up there, and then DJ's batting behind me. No offense to DJ.
I mean, but
he's like
DJ's not ready there yet. We got a little time.
He's like, what, 5?
And so, I mean, for me, I look at this and say New England needs that receiver. They need that person that's going to come through and help them make the next league. It's time to see
the quarterback.
Yeah, we're going to see. I thought my quarterback, and we're going to see what they do next year.
A lot of people say that Jalen Hurts is the guy that they're going to wait for, and I wouldn't doubt that. But if Jordan Love is sitting there with the specimen, doing what he did his junior year, and then this last year where he had nothing, and still doing what you got to love his fire.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, if you're New England, this is a home run pick.
No-brainer.
If he falls this far without people trading up, you got to grab him. It'd be crazy not to. All right, next we're heading to New Orleans, and the New Orleans Saints have the 24th pick. I got them going linebacker here with Kenneth Murray, the linebacker from Oklahoma. Now, this guy is just we talk about Queen's intensity. He's right up there with him. And some people would have Murray in front of Queen, so it really just depends on the team's needs. But this is a good pick here. I think New Orleans, if Queen was here, I think they would take Queen, especially with him being down there from being out there in the LSU area. So, but I got to go with Murray here from Oklahoma.
I do like the Murray pick. They lost, and I can never say his name. Analones, and I can't. Yeah.
He said Analones. Some guy. There's some guy.
I can't even think of it.
I'm never gonna try to destroy his name.
I know. I'll chop it up. It was a dude from Florida, but he couldn't stay healthy at all. That was his problem. And Murray sometimes his big thing is he hits too hard and hurts himself.
And that's not good. Your goal is to hurt the other team, or at least get tackles on the other team. You can't be out there hurting yourself. That's not a good look. That's not a good look.
They still it's Alex Anzalone. They still got A.J. Klein. Oh, wait. He's gone, too. Never mind. They got Demario Davis, who was a stud. He came from Cleveland. Sorry, L.A., if you watch this again. And he has just been a machine for them. And I think Murray with Davis would just be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like linebacker is going to be their spot here unless Jordan Love falls to this spot. They may at least think about it there.
Or they could reach for a corner because the Eli Apple's gone.
Right.
Janoris Jenkins is gone.
They did. Well, no, Jenkins is Malcolm Jenkins is safety, right?
Malcolm Jenkins is safety.
Yeah.
Janoris Jenkins, I think they sent him back to the Giants, and now he's a free agent.
Boy, just a lot going on there. All right, let's head to 25 here. The Vikings' second pick. We just finished talking about what the Vikings could do with these 2 picks. And, Jay, looks like they may get some receiver help
and here we go. Denzel Mims, wide receiver, Baylor.
I've watched a little bit of stuff on Mims, and what I liked about him is just feels like his intensity to just go after the ball. I mean, watching him and watching the hunger of just, no matter what, I'm bringing this ball in. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And I just love that part of his game, and I think that he could be special for Minnesota, especially after losing Diggs. You lose Diggs, that's the biggest reason why you need to pick somebody up to go alongside Dillon. But that's why I like Mims at that spot.
A lot of people don't even have Mims as a first-round pick, which is, really interesting for the fact ran a 4.4 at 6'3", 215.
Sheesh.
And it just baffles me because, they actually have him ranked behind Michael Pittman Jr., which I think could be a steal.
Right.
But he's 6'3" also, and he ran a 4.5, which is closer to 4.6. So, you got that quickness. Why would you not take that risk?
Exactly. Why not make the leap? And so I think Minnesota is going to
even
may shock a couple people.
Even Justin Jefferson at 6'3", ran a 4.5. So it's just it's baffling. The only comparable is T. Higgins, who we talked about already, who ran a 4.48.
T. Higgins. All right, let's swing to number 26 and the Miami Dolphins. We got the offensive lineman. You got your quarterback. You might as well give somebody to hand the ball off to him. And
running back.
Got to go with DeAndre Swift here from Georgia. And Georgia running backs have had some decent success in the NFL. I mean, if you go back probably all the way up, let's see, wasn't Terrell Davis Georgia running back? Yeah, Terrell Davis. So you go Terrell Davis. You had No Sean Moreno, who had a decent little run.
Who was No Show Moreno?
No Show Moreno. You had No Sean Moreno. You got Gurley, who was at one point the MVP. That's bad. Last year and a half has been a little rough, but you had him out there. So Georgia running backs have had solid careers in the NFL, and I think Swift could be another one that could give the Dolphins something that they need, and they need a little bit of everything.
I mean, you forgot like one of the greatest Georgia running backs.
I know I'm missing somebody, and I couldn't think of it.
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker. I didn't even think about Herschel Walker.
Come on, bro.
I didn't even think about. I wasn't going that far back.
I'm not going that far back. Everybody knows. I don't care if you're a millennial or not. You know who Herschel Walker is, or you don't know football.
I know who Herschel Walker is. I just didn't think that far back.
Just saying.
And I did say last couple of years too. I didn't say 1988 when I was 4.
Bro, no.
I'm just saying.
No Sean Moreno.
His first name that came up to mind. Moreno.
Was drafted in
2008? 2008,
yeah. Some of our viewers weren't born yet.
Okay, well, there's a lot of reviewers that weren't born. Herschel Walker was playing. Come on, bro. We know where that goes.
And I'm the oldest person in the network.
All right, everybody.
I'm sorry. Besides Becca.
Oh, number 27. Oh, my God. Number 27, the Seahawks are on the board.
Becca.
Where do you have
she
the
just started watching.
where do you have the Seahawks going on this one?
Oh, to my funeral. The safety, Xavier McKinney, Alabama. McKinney is considered to be the best safety in this draft. But I'm going to tell you, there are guys that you get in the second, third round that will be Pro Bowl safeties in this draft.
Yeah, and then one guy that you talk about a lot is Mr. Cal Digger. The small
Duggar.
college small college guy, but
Leona Ryan.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a singer from the '60s.
But I like him. I like Chin from Southern Illinois, which I actually saw a draft where he was taken by the Patriots in the first round. Because remember when didn't they reach on Harmon the one year?
They did. I think they got him at 30 or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely a lot of small school guys that could make and that's the thing about not having pro days that could affect some of these people. And there's talk that the NFL is going to expand the amount of walk-ons and undrafted free agents they can draft because there's no pro days.
Yeah, and then I've been hearing this virtual training goes well. That if it goes too well, who knows? Players like we may not even need OTAs if we can do virtual training, and you train. But I don't know if that's going to be the case.
The virtual training will help stimulate the mind and help you understand what's going on. But I don't care who you are. Virtually, you get hit in the chest by 250 pounds moving at 15 mile an hour.
Right.
There's nothing virtually that gets you ready for that, bro.
Exactly. Now let's head to number 28. We're getting closer here to our last pick in this first round mock, but we got the Ravens coming up, and the Ravens. I got the Ravens.
Hey.
Going. I don't know who that is. Why he blew the horn?
I hope it's Rob.
I don't know, but that's a really. It's like a car dealership.
It's a nice car for Rob. Never mind.
Oh man! All right, so I got the Ravens taking Calavon Chason. I think that's French. So I got him going there. Here is that the Ravens have always been good at producing great defensive linemen, and I think that
they can hear you, sir.
And I think that he will be a nice piece for this team. But there's a lot of ways that I think the Ravens can go, with this pick. But if he falls this far, you got to take him there.
But see, the thing that's waving over his head is Bartavius Mingo put up better numbers and turned into be one of the biggest busts ever. So, I mean...
Close your ears, L.A.
Sorry, bro.
Close your ears, L.A.
It's the truth. But, it makes you wonder why wouldn't, they go wide receiver, because Willie Snead is their best wide receiver, and he's almost my age.
Yeah, and they've got to get receiver help, and it's funny because I there's a lot of mocks and stuff that I see that he's not even the receiver's not a need, and I'm like, what drug are these people on?
Well, because they got Hollywood Brown.
He's not enough. Hollywood Brown was hurt on and off. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say when he's on the field.
Yeah, and Andrew.
But there you go, Antonio Brown, go there. See ya.
Cousins, what up, Cuz?
Maybe he'll get him to take his meds.
Oh, sheesh, good luck. All right, now let's hit number 29, and the Titans are on the board here. Where do the Titans go with their pick?
And this guy's falling just because they felt he had a poor draft. But he, hands down, is one of the best pass rushers in this entire draft.
He's so explosive.
I rank him actually behind Chase Young.
He's explosive, bro.
It's A.J. Espinoza.
And the tape that I watched on him, I watched him just beat
Did
up.
you watch any of the games I told you to watch him on?
He blew up on what game it was.
At Michigan State, he was just destroying
God,
people,
he blew up on a left tackle, and I started praying for the left tackle on the highlight tape. Man, the game's already over. but I started praying for him. I'm like, man, this kid's got, amazing talent.
He's got the bull rush. He's got, no great hand technique off the tackles. And the whole thing is the way this is set up, once again, individual workouts.
Right.
This guy we're talking about in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like his leap could be it could have been amazing if this was normal times.
Exactly.
And that's why I said this one's going to be, I think this one may stick to the book obviously more than any other draft has stuck to the book because you not being able to get out and see this person work out, just not being able to see it. So
I really like your neighbor right now.
Hey, he's good people, man.
Isn't he the one that,
man.
like, never mind.
No, he's phenomenal. He's good people. I know they one time they gave us these
Jay Quimby likes
apples off the
insulting
tree.
everybody today in some way.
Who said that?
Becca. Becca, I am not insulting you. You are one of the most elegant human beings I've ever encountered.
I love the fact you use elegant. That's great. That's big time.
She is elegant.
Let's go to number 30. The Packers are on the board at 30.
And I hope they take somebody from UCLA.
Hey, don't you dare start cussing up in here. I'm going to tell you right now.
They're going to redraft Dalton Jones.
If the Packers go Pac-10 player here, I will probably throw something at my television screen. I mean, they went Pac-12 player for like 57 years in a row when Ted Thompson was there in that first round. I thought I was going to lose my stuff. And Ed was like, dude, there's T.J. Watt. Nah, bro, we don't want him. We're going to go with Kevin King. No!
I'm going to look and see who the highest rated UCLA player is.
And I know one thing. He better not be picked in the first round, or I'm going to have some issues. Anyway, we got the Packers taking T. Higgins from Clemson. And me and Jay saw T. Higgins live. I mean, we saw what he could do in that ACC championship game against Virginia. And my favorite thing about him is his hands. This guy catches everything in his parameter.
There's
I love
no UCLA player rated in
Yes.
the top 100.
Yes.
So that means you'll get somebody.
Wait a minute. That's not good. But I love T. Higgins, and I just think that he would be a great fit for Green Bay at this spot. Some people have him as a mid-second rounder, some late second rounder, but I think you grab him here.
It's false. His height, along with his catch radius and his speed, him across from Adams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how could you not get happy? Yeah, never mind.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would be very happy with this pick here. And some people, but my heart tells me, as a Packers fan, my heart tells me that they won't even, everything that we're thinking they're going to draft is not going to happen. It'll be an offensive lineman. Just know with my heart. Don't know why, and that's fine. We can always we need a right tackle. So if they can grab somebody that can help.
Why do you need a right tackle?
Balaga's gone to
Didn't you sign Wagner?
we need a right tackle. And so we need somebody who can come in. You know, Wagner didn't have the greatest year. They just picked up some guy that's a vet. I need somebody who can come in and be a stud at that right tackle position to go alongside Bakhtiari. So if they go that part, now we'll see. But I love T. Higgins.
How about Prince Tiga Wanahuga?
Yeah, I saw a really good story on him yesterday on the NFL Network, and they were talking about, they're talking about his upbringing, because he's from Africa. They brought him over here to Alabama, and he's got foster parent. I don't know, foster parent, host parents is what they call them when they come from international side of the world.
Yeah.
So he was host parent. He was a host student down in Alabama. And they brought him to this academy out there, and he was a really good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day they saw him outside, and he was outside, and he saw them doing football, and he was like, "Hey, coach, what's that? I want to try that." That's what he said in high school. I just want to try that. He decides to try that, and guess what? As he tries it, he's potentially going to be a second up to maybe a late first round pick, and I would like him. I like people that've got a good mindset.
Now, a guy that we kind of forgot about that everybody's high on is Stefon Diggs' little brother.
Yeah. Is it Tavon? Trayvon Diggs. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what he does.
Don't say Tavon.
Tavon. It is Tavon. Is it Trayvon?
Trayvon. No, you say Tavon. It makes us all go back to
the dark place? Yeah, we're not going to go to the dark place. All right, let's go to the 49ers, and they've got pick number 31. And it looks like we went back-to-back Clemson here, Jay. Tell us who the 49ers grabbed at 31.
Now, he got decimated. Joe Reed is a smaller receiver, and he was having his way with this gentleman when we watched this game. But
right.
A lot of people like what he did at Combine. Besides the ACC championship game, they watched his tape. They liked it, and they go AJ Terrell.
I had when I was down on the field, I watched when I was down on the field at the ACC championship game, I watched his presence on the field. And it wasn't the best game, but you could definitely tell the leadership that he brings to that Clemson team. And they had so many great defensive players on that team.
And it not that they hugely need it, but wouldn't it be nice to have him for behind and learning from a guy like Richard Sherman for 1 to 2 years?
It'd be great. I mean, if you're going to learn from anybody, you learn from one of the smartest players in the NFL.
Absolutely.
I mean, and yeah, people say, he's getting a little long in the tooth, but
he still plays great.
Right, and people are still afraid to throw to him. Despite Devontae Adams torching him in that NFC Championship game, but we were already getting just spanked by then, so who cares? But I look at it and say that Richard Sherman is still one of the most dominant, cornerbacks in the league. If not dominant, at least the smartest cornerbacks in the league.
He definitely has transitioned better in old age than Revis did, because Revis didn't get smarter. He still tried to play the same way he did when he was drafted. Where Richard Sherman has gotten smarter at his position.
Right. And there was a debate. Remember that debate on Twitter? They were saying who was better between Sherman and Revis?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I still think I would go with – and I love Darrell Revis' game, but I think I still would go with Sherman.
I got a nice one-year rental for Revis, and he sucked.
Yeah. He just took – they were talking – remember they talked about how Revis –
$13 million.
Revis for 4 years was able to get paid 4 years in a row, and he got paid, nice money. One year was $14 million. He got $16 million.
I'm going to try to be Mr. Rollback for a year and see if that gets me anything.
It won't. It won't. I can tell you that now. You can give it a shot. Well, maybe for a year to be solid. And after there, it's just rainbows and sunshine. Let's head to our last pick of our first round. And the Kansas City Chiefs are on the board here. And the Chiefs, we heard.
Oh, my God, that ridiculous trade up.
Yeah, we heard rumors that they could trade up and go for Ruggs. I'm going to tell you right now, if they do that, go ahead and give them the
Super Bowl
now, because that's just where it should go.
Because
just
they kept Watkins.
Right.
They got Hardman.
Yep.
Hill.
What? That's a whole pterodactyl. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I swear to God, that's the second
time. That's the same bird, man. That's the same bird.
No, it's not the same bird.
It's not the same bird?
No, it's just another big-ass bird. Way too close.
Man, that pterodactyl bird we saw the other day was
Its wingspan was the same size as Becca's car, dude.
Dude, it was crazy, bro. I still can't even get over that. Anyway, if they make that trade and they move up, the phenomenalness of what could go down for them. But I have a good consolation prize for Kansas City at 32.
I'm not happy with this.
He's not happy with this pick, but I'm going to tell you why I go with this pick. But I got J.K. Dobbins, the running back from Ohio State, going to Kansas City at 32.
Send him Taylor.
People say, no, I'm telling you, the type of game that Dobbins has, and you've told me time and time again on how.
I know, but I want him for my team.
I understand that's what you want.
Call me greedy.
I understand what you want, but that's why I say I look at it and say he could be phenomenal in that Kansas City offense. And if you think they're explosive now, just imagine how much more explosive they could be with Dobbins in that lineup. Whew. Boy.
Oh. But see, now one thing they do need, I know they took your guy from UVA last year,
yeah,
Thornhill.
Yeah.
But you remember they lost Fuller in free agency.
Right.
And Quentin Dunbar left.
Dunbar's in Seattle now.
Yeah, so cornerback would probably be a good way to go about. I know Dobbins is a luxury, beautiful pick. He won the Super Bowl, but I'm going to let it be at that, my opinion.
Well,
this was your pick.
This is my pick. I just like I said, it's one of those things when you're the Super Bowl champions, you can say, well, you know what? We won the Super Bowl with the defense we have. We can add pieces. But who's the best player? This is usually when you get that best player
But
available.
you remember two of those guys had interceptions that kept you to win that game.
Yeah. I still think another guy
there's we getting attacked.
Bro, these are
He's back.
These are some big birds, bro. Over pterodactyl Jane. Look at the size of that thing. All right, anyway, but
yeah, but they're gonna come after me because I'm smaller than you.
Man, I hope that. Don't worry, man. We hit them with the belt, see what happens. Anyway, so we get back. I just think that it would be a good pick for him. I think that, and this is just me saying, I think that Bryce Hall this is where Bryce Hall ends up in Kansas City. Not at this spot, but he will in the draft. I think that's where he goes.
I mean, that would be a steal.
Yeah.
Upon steals.
Yeah. I think he ends up there or Pittsburgh.
But I also saw that he is yet to be cleared for football activities completely.
Yeah, and I think that's just a precautionary thing. They
want. I know, but ankle injuries are huge because remember we had that linebacker that we thought was going to be able to replace Quan Alexander, and he got in a car wreck, and I can't think of his name, but he had a similar.
That's rough.
So let me see if I can find it real quick. Go ahead. Who's your sleepers, bro?
Well, we got a couple of guys on the network that pumped out some sleepers. So before me and Jay give ours, I'm going to go through some of our guys' sleepers here on the network.
Kendall Beckworth.
Oh yes, I remember Beckworth. Yes. So I think that we wanted to give you guys some insight into where our guys were thinking. Like I said, we were sad that we weren't able to do the full-blown draft like we normally do, but we definitely had fun doing this one today and appreciate everybody who's tuned in so far. But we're going to try to end this one on a high note, and so we'll do our sleepers. So first person that we'll break down the sleepers, and I'll read off the names of the list. I will destroy some of these names throughout our sleepers, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize.
You destroy everybody's name, bro.
Facts. But that's why I said I wanted to apologize early before I got into it. So first, we're going to go with Ahmed James Brown. His sleepers, he has Curtis Weaver, the edge rusher from Boise State. Michael Pittman Jr., the wide receiver. We talked a little bit about him. From USC. And Lynn Bowden Jr., wide receiver from Kentucky. So what do you think about these three guys?
Now, the top two, I'm not really going to say are sleepers. People know who they are. They're going to go early first or early second round.
Right.
Now, I like Bowden a lot. He was actually on the edge of being my offensive sleeper. His production down there in Kentucky with isn't it still Butch Davis down there?
Yeah, I think. But how long has Butch Davis been in Kentucky? He's been in Kentucky for a while.
For a minute.
Yeah, for a
But
hot
I
minute.
mean, I absolutely, I think he will be a steal for anybody that gets him.
I think out of the three, I'm a huge guy. I like Pittman. I really do like Pittman.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't like Pittman, but as far as sleeper positions,
You know, yeah.
For me, a sleeper is that fifth, sixth, or seventh round guy that turns it. Bakhtiari would be consistent.
I mean, I didn't see. No one saw that coming.
Yeah, so that's what I consider.
Sleeper.
Villanueva is another one.
Yeah, Villanueva.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
That's where I see sleeper.
All right, so next one.
Your first 3 rounds should be starters. If they're not, you failed as a GM.
That's true.
True.
That's a true statement. That's a true statement. All right, next one we're going to go with our man Drew Willingham. His sleepers are Kevin Dotson, the offensive guard from Louisiana Lafayette, Derek Tzitsky. I know I said that wrong. Tzitsky, edge rusher from North Dakota State, and Kendall Valdor, the cornerback from Georgia Southern.
Valdor is not bad. He's kind of short, so he'll be a slot guy. I love Kevin Dotson.
I was about to say Kevin Dotson is an All-American.
Yes,
and a lot of people, but as a person who drafted an All-American in Jason Spriggs and thought, oh man, we got this All-American. He's Chicago's problem now. So I hope you enjoy that, Raphael. So I look at it and say, I really like Dotson. I think Dotson is out of these three, Dotson would be the one that I'd be drooling over if I was anybody. I think if he goes to the right team, he could potentially be a plug and play starter for somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Next one we going to is our man, Mr. Tyrone Montgomery. Ty's got 2 sleepers here, A.J. Dillon and Jonathan Greenard. From
Grenard.
Grenard, is that Grenard?
Grenard. Yes.
Looks like Greenard to me. Anyway, so out of these 2, me personally, I'm going with A.J. Dillon.
I'm going with Dillon also. Dillon is one of those all-purpose backs. He actually, I consider him, besides the gentleman from LSU, to be one of the better receiving backs out of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, and if you watch what Dillon has done, I think he's led the ACC. He led the ACC in rushing. I don't think this year because I think that was Anthony. I could be destroying his name. I know I'm not even going to try to double check that, but he led it last year, the year before last, and so Dillon could be a really nice pickup. And a lot of people have him in the 4th round, which I think the highest I've seen him in a mock is 3rd. But it's usually been 4th and back.
It's because a lot of people now are looking for Shaq Barkley, Zeke Elliott type of player that can do the one cut and be gone. And Dillon really doesn't have that getaway speed,
All right, so now we head to our guy, Mr. Russ Telefero. And Russ has Kobe Parkinson, tight end from Stanford, Justin Sternert, and I know I could be saying his name wrong, linebacker from Wake Forest, and Ben Barch, our guy that we had potentially going to the Redskins in the 3rd round from St. John's, Minnesota, the Johnnies.
I love Ben Barch. You know this.
Yeah.
Ben Barch is going to be – he can play possibly with experience anywhere on the line except center. I like Colby Parkinson. He's great hands, good blocker. Just doesn't have that elite speed again that everybody's looking for. I mean, size-wise, no, we'll say Travis Kelce.
Oh, look at that. And I like Stenad. I know I'm saying his name wrong. I'm not even gonna try. Justin. We're gonna just call him Justin because that's his first name. Justin. Me and Lamont had a chance to talk to him at ACC Media Day last year, and the kid's got a good head on his shoulders, and all he really cared about was just making his team better. He said he wanted to leave Wake Forest in a better spot than he left it. That's all he truly wanted to do. And Wake Forest, I mean, look at the year Wake Forest had. I mean, Wake Forest went what? They made it to the bowl. They were like 9-4, 9-3, something like that.
Yeah.
So they had a pretty good year. So I like him there, and I think whoever gets him will have a nice little piece to the team. All right, our last one before we hit me and Jay's, Mr. Lamont Thomas, and his 3 sleepers. He got quarterback Anthony Jordan from Washington State, Donovan Peoples-Jones, the receiver from Michigan. I knew you were going to laugh. And then Willie Gay Jr., the linebacker from Mississippi State, here with his 3 sleepers.
Now, Lamont and I had a little debate on this about, you can't really, in my opinion, call a previous 5-star recruit a sleeper. Donovan Peoples-Jones, never mind. That's a bad comparison. But let's just say he dropped a lot of catchable balls.
Oh, man. I forgot who I was going to say. Everybody else in the Green Bay Packers receiving corps except for Davante Adams.
Perfect example. James Jones.
Oh, okay. I have no more.
Okay.
I have no more.
I like Anthony Jordan, but I like James Morgan a little bit more from Florida International.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie Gay Jr. is going to be one of those guys that is going to fly under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going to think his dad, the corner, and he hits like a damn Scud missile, dude.
You know what's crazy is that this draft has a lot of
juniors,
a lot of former players' kids.
I can think of 4 of them right now.
Shoot.
Michael Pittman Jr.
Facts.
Willie Gay Jr.
Facts.
Thaddeus Moss.
Yeah.
And Anthony McFarland's.
There's another one I seen in there too. Hold on. It is God. What's my man's name? I see John Runyon Jr. is in this draft.
Yeah. John Runyon. I forgot about him.
There's a lot of.
I don't think much about Michigan.
Yeah, I know where your heart lies on those aspects. All right, so now that we've gotten our guys, so you had to see who they have as sleepers, and we'll post that later on. We got some articles coming out from Ty, Lamont, Russ. Yeah, so those guys are going to pump out previews of teams that you think that they're going to really need to try to win this draft. So be prepared for those. Coming up here soon. Plus, we'll post the sleepers.
When you watch the draft this weekend, if you get one of these guys, don't be like, oh damn, who is this?
No.
Just give them a chance.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know. You just really know.
70% of your NFL team is made up of people that are either undrafted free agents,
mm-hmm.
or people that were 3rd round or less taken.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just look at it. You just never know. I mean, and I know Green Bay's always been a good second day, 3rd day team.
You guys always find a way to make stuff shine.
Right. I shouldn't even be happy about the first pick. I should just be worried about. I just need the first pick for. I just need it for the emotional fix to get going.
You just get tired of waiting and then see
man.
You guys trade back into the second round, bro.
I'm still mad. And that was what 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm still mad that they traded out of the.
And you've yet to find a cornerback that can catch a pass.
I don't know. I mean, he had 5 interceptions last year. Just imagine how many interceptions he would have had if he'd have caught the ball.
He'd have the record. I can tell you 3 of them in one game I watched him drop.
Oh, my God. Kevin King.
All right.
So
bring it up.
So did you want to do mine or yours first? I'll do mine first. So
okay.
we'll leave greatness for last. So let's swing over. We'll do mine first, and here are my guys that I have as sleepers. The first guy I have is Michael Warren, the second running back from Cincinnati. My pro comparison. This is my personal pro comparison, and that's Aaron Jones. If you watch what Aaron Jones did last year for the Green Bay Packers, 21 touchdowns overall. He's a little bit shorter than Aaron Jones, but he's a little bit more bulkier than Aaron Jones. But watching his style, the way he worked it in between tackles, his field vision is phenomenal, and he's one tough tackle. And a lot of people don't have him until like the 7th round. So if you grab Michael Warren the second, he'll be a good pick for you, especially somebody that if you got a rotational type of running back game going on, he'll be a good guy there.
A guy that I could see him helping Joe Mixon in Cincinnati.
Right.
I know he played for the Bears, but Luke Fickell, as much as he sucked as a head coach for us, he's done good things at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about Warren. It would be nice to grab him late, but I'm not personally stressing it. But there's a team that needs a decent running back that can get a steal. He'll be there. My next guy is James Brody, the receiver from SMU. Watching the tape on him, he's another guy that just catches everything. He was the an SMU. What conference in SMU in? They're in what? I want to say it's the. It's not It's the Conference USA. No, not Conference USA. Anyway, in his conference,
in one of the small ones.
it's a smaller conference, and I don't know why I'm having a whole brain freeze. But regardless, if you watch the tape, he's been the most dominant receiver in that conference the last couple of years.
He's the guy you watch the tape, and he instantly, the first time the ball's thrown his way, you're just like, who's this?
Right, and he makes so many amazing catches. I seen one where it looked like he was fading out of bounds, and he caught it with, I don't even know how he did it. He was caught it with one hand, foot kind of slid in, and it was just a beautiful grab. But I really like him from SMU. I think he'll probably hit somebody around the 5th round, so look out for him. And then my last guy is Shaq Quarterman, linebacker from Miami.
It kind of hurts my heart to see him as a sleeper and not even being talked about until
at
third
all.
day.
I mean, and this is another guy that I had a chance to just talk to at had to talk to ACC Media Day. And the thing he said to me that sticks in my mind, and this is the type of player you want, is he said he was like, I said, hey, the question that we like to ask when we go to these things is, what what legacy do you want to leave at your school? And he said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. Every day I walk past this poster, and it has all of the great linebackers in Miami history, your Ray Lewis's, your Vilmas, and those guys. And he said, all I ever wanted was to be that guy. I want to be right beside those guys. I want to be the best Hurricane that I possibly can be, and I want to do everything. And what I like about him is he just is as tough as they come. And sometimes he, I wouldn't say he gets beat, but sometimes he's not as fast.
He doesn't read plays quite as fast as he should.
Right.
But once again, it's one of those things. You give him a couple seasons, let him learn the right system. I mean, athletically, he is scored off the charts. But not only athletically, but you got to have the mental part of it. Just give him time.
Yeah, and to me he could be a good, maybe like a guy that you say, just go get him.
Proven fact.
Just go get the quarterback. Go get him.
Men do not mature mentally until 25.
This is true.
Give him some time.
And I'm still working on it.
That's two of us.
Faxing it.
And I'm 40.
All right, so now let's go to the man, the myth, and the legend sleeper picks. Now, I'm hyping my boy up, but I'm going to hype him up because I know the hard work and the studying that goes into this man.
I called Duggar before it even started.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he studies all year long. I'm telling you, once his draft is over, and the books start coming out.
Oh, and the COVID stops.
And the COVID stops. This man is on top of it, and I don't mind tooting his horn because I know.
I was so sad I didn't get to watch any spring games because the spring games you really get to see who's coming up from the freshman or possible sophomore redshirt sophomores that are going to be.
Right, and Virginia's spring game is actually supposed to be this weekend. So we miss out on that because of this wonderful thing they call COVID-19. And that's a joke for those out there, so don't go get all upset. Get your panties in a bunch.
Be safe, social distance, do what you got to so we can get back to normalcy.
All right, yeah, and don't make fun of us. We're 4 feet apart, and the hand sanitizer on the ground somewhere.
I mean, no offense, but when this all started, I mean, we were still doing shows, so.
We were. But, it's just about preparation, We know what we're doing.
Right, so first.
All right, so Jay, here we go. Here's your sleepers.
No, you get to say them.
All right, I'm not saying that second one. That's all you, buddy. All right, so here's Jay's sleepers. First, he's got linebacker Logan Wilson and linebacker from Wyoming, and Lamont was upset with you when he saw that you picked him.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand because you look at the way he plays, he really has a knack and an instinct to get to the ball. He's not quite as big as you want for a linebacker, which nowadays doesn't matter. He's if you took Miles Jack and Levante David and put them together, that is the type of linebacker you're getting with Logan.
Sheesh. See, that's a pretty big deal. From what I saw on tape, I feel like he's a high energy guy.
He's everywhere. He reads the quarterback's eyes well. And he's very good at understanding. I mean, he probably spends as much time watching tape on his opponent as I do.
Right.
And, he wants to understand what every play they're doing. And yeah, he's gonna get some wrong. He's gonna get beat. He's human. But I would love to have him in the new 3-4 and put him in middle linebacker somewhere.
So now our next one, which I know that you are going to be
Alawali Betq Jr., an edge
look
rusher.
at you pronouncing those names with sexiness. Go ahead and say it one more time for them that didn't hear it.
I'm not saying it again.
Alawali Patektu Jr. Go ahead, Francis.
He's an edge rusher from Illinois, and which is weird to hear edge rusher from Illinois because, Lovie Smith's engagement and love for the Tampa 2, which is so far gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see him run a little bit different defense there. And he didn't put up the huge numbers because of, a little bit of some of the people he had to go against.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got the raw talent that if given the right chance, you could see. I'm trying to find a pass rusher, Averill type.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a year to develop, and he could come in and wreak havoc.
Okay, all right. But now he actually went to USC first, correct? He was at USC and then transferred.
I plead the fifth.
Okay, great.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't like the culture there.
Right.
He didn't like because that's when USC was going through all the BS that they went through and all that fun stuff, and he just didn't. That's what sold him on going to Illinois was Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith is a high character, and also he is a player's coach.
Right.
So I mean, by all means, why would you not want to go there?
Exactly. So you got one last one, Jay, and let's tell people about Jonah Jackson.
They're gonna call me a homer for this one, but yeah.
Yeah, well.
I went Jonah Jackson, offensive lineman from Ohio State. Now he played at Rutgers, and he was a 5-star guard at Rutgers. Entered the transfer portal, come down. I mean, he is a mauler. He will put somebody on their ass quicker than you could ever imagine. So he is a plug-and-play player. I hope to see him go day 2.
Right.
If not, I mean, there's something wrong.
I think that from what I've seen, I think that he will be a really nice pickup for somebody. And we talked about how deep this offensive line draft is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a really deep, especially at tackle. But
they got Ezra Cleveland, the offensive tackle. There's another pterodactyl.
These birds are everywhere. As long as we don't take a dump, we good.
Oh yeah, that'd be shitty. Ezra Cleveland, the offensive tackle, left tackle, starting for Boise State. They got him ranked as a guard now. If that tells you how deep all of this is, yeah.
Really? Yeah. See, that's something I didn't see. That's something I didn't see coming.
That tells you the versatility of some of these players, though, too.
That's true too. All right, everybody. We have made it to
ready for the draft.
We are ready for the draft. We have made it to the end of this wonderful.
One more question before we go.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Need all of you to comment on this when you watch it. Over and under 7 trades in the first round.
I said under when we talked on Sunday.
So did I.
I said under. Man, the way they going, they might be like 13, bro. I mean, because all right, let's look at all the teams that could potentially trade. We've heard 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we heard 1, 2, but I don't think that's happening. We heard 2 through 9. We also heard what was it? We heard a lot of ones later in the draft.
We've heard Atlanta. We've heard
the Colts trading back in.
We went the 49ers said they'll trade both of their first rounds to get out of the first round.
This is crazy. I mean,
and right now, the way things set, even New England has the collateral to trade up.
and that's what I'm saying. And they got a lot of what they call on ESPN premium picks that they could trade up. And they've already,
that's some horse shit. They ain't got premium picks. They got a first rounder, and then they start at the third. They've got 3 4ths, 2 5ths, 3 6ths, and 2 7ths.
Yeah, I definitely at first had this going one way, but I was gonna say under, but no, I got a feeling.
I'm gonna actually still stick with what I said, under.
Now, the one thing that also almost convinced me otherwise is out of the last 4 drafts, we've had at least 5 trades in the first round. At least 5 trades. So I'm like, man, that made me think the way they're talking this year, and especially with everything that's going on, and I think that it may be a madhouse. I mean, that draft is going to be crazy.
It's going to be fun. That's for
It's
sure.
going to be crazy. I cannot wait. This time tomorrow, I'm going to tell you how this tomorrow is going to work. So tomorrow,
We'll be like this.
I'll be sitting in the house. I'll wake up, do the games. I might do all the games early because I'll definitely be done before 7 o'clock.
And you got to be done before that because I feel if trades haven't happened yet,
Yeah.
they're going to happen about 4 p.m. because everybody's going to want to have them done beforehand.
Exactly. And Detroit said they wanted theirs done before the draft. They don't want to wait till that time and waste all that time, especially with all the technology, because they said, the bandwidths and all that stuff. And internet.
Yeah, everything.
So it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen probably early tomorrow or later this evening.
I think it was the Lions GM. His IT guy is in a Winnebago in his driveway.
I saw that too.
And I was just like, damn, stock much?
Yeah, they said he's the IT guy from Detroit. He's going to be sitting outside in there living at the house for 3 days. And I think he said something about his wife cooking and stuff like that. I said, well, what I like about it the most. It seems like it's new, but I'm loving the fact that the coaches and players are getting a chance to spend time with their families during this time.
When we talked to Coach Rhodes about that,
Yeah.
he said he was loving it, but that's a whole different
That was a whole different day for a whole nother time. But all right, everybody. Look, man, we truly appreciate everybody for joining us today for our mock draft. This has been so much fun. Next year, hopefully, we'll be back to our old wonderful ways. But Jay, I know you had fun with this today. We've been,
This is Jay's.
This is his Super Bowl, bro.
It's
This
all
is
coming
Super
up.
Bowl.
I just, I call some off the wall shit, and I get so much crap for it.
I mean, but you still call Pat Mahomes, and what did he do? Oh, just win a Super Bowl and an MVP. So, I mean, what it is, what it is.
I get it right occasionally, guys.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm Darrell Owens to the Legacy Maker Sports Network. This is Mr. Jeremiah Quimby, a.k.a. Jay. I just like to call him Jeremiah when it comes to it.
Oh, yeah. I get called that by other people when I'm in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want fans to get in
But
trouble.
everybody be safe. Social distance. God bless.
Yes, let's make sure y'all take care of yourselves out there. And like I said, we truly appreciate everybody tuning in and being a part of what we had going on today. Take care of yourselves. All right? Take care of yourselves.
Nobody else will.
That's really true. Because if you don't, nobody else will. All right.
I still hear you.
You still hear me? I don't know what happened. I'm going to hit the button. All right, everybody. Take care.
Peace.